What's going on, you guys? Spider Kit Kat here, bringing you another figure review. This time, we're gonna take a closer look at the Marvel Legends PS4 Spider-Man by Hasbro. If I remember correctly, this was released back in January of 2019, just a few months after the game's release. The game got so popular that it generated a demand for an action figure, and Hasbro was the quickest to respond. Correct me if I'm wrong, alright, but I think this is the first figure from a PS4 game that created Hasbro's Gamerverse line intended for video game-inspired figures. So, that makes it all the more special. It's also worth noting that the packaging is white instead of the usual black colorway. Definitely has a more premium feel to it, and I could probably do a separate review just for the box alone. That's how much extra Hasbro went for the 6-inch piece of merchandise. So if the box is good, I want to tell you guys straight out that the figure's even better. There's a matte finish to it that you can't find in any Spider-Man figure at the relatively recent time of 2019. But if I stand corrected, do leave a comment down below. So let me just focus that. So as you can see, the paint apps are very clean. You can see that the lines are evenly painted, and the logo is placed very symmetric to the center. Although there are a few QC issues here and there, such as this one. As you can see, the paint, there's a bit of a unevenness to the paint right there at the butterfly joint, the left side. I'm willing to let it slip. It's just you can't avoid that. I kind of wish though that the web linings were sculpted instead, kind of like how they did it with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, but I'm probably being just a stickler at this point. I guess simply painting it is Hasbro's way of catering to customizers in the off chance that they want to use this figure as a base for something else entirely. Anyway, the quality of the plastic has also vastly improved versus that of Pete's Spider-Man's, though I find it irksome that he falls slightly on the beefcake physique, which Spider-Man's never portrayed to be, even in the game itself. The actual Spider-Man falls slightly on the skinny muscular spectrum, and I think only the NYCC Spider-Man has been the closest to impeccably translate that in figure form, or at least on a 1/12th scale, that is. So for the accessories, that's also one thing that falls flat, as it comes with only a pair of interchangeable hands when it should have another one, namely the wall-crawling hands. Heck, even the NYCC Spider-Man doesn't have wall-crawling hands. What's up with that? It also comes with these webs, which to some may think these are new, but to someone who's been collecting for a long time, such as myself, it's easy to notice that these are recycled from the 2012's Spider-Man movie figure, which I think is a decent figure at best, but that's beside the point. I do believe they need to have these in every Spider-Man release from here on out, but if you've seen the others succeeding this, then you know unfortunately that's not the case. These webs are made of a pliable material that you can easily fit on either wrist without having to remove the hands. So let me just show that to you guys. As you can see, it's rather loose, but it does the job well enough. By the way, I'd also like to show you guys these custom webs that I bought way back when from a customizer. These are all metallic, but trust me, you're better off with the mass-produced plastic ones by Hasbro. Just to show you guys how that looks, here is the metallic web accessory inside this web flipping hand, and it's easy to see. These just put way too much weight on the figure, and they cause the hands to pop out easily because there's just not a lot of room in the hole to fit the entire phallic shaft of this peg to begin with, without having to insert this cock ring of an accessory. But hey, that's what she said. Anyway, going back, I did mention that I'm not as big a fan of its beefcake physique, but it's still worth appreciating how impeccably they designed the musculature of this figure. The attention to detail, the clean paint job, and the articulation are a testament as to what Hasbro's capable of doing if they wanted to, and they're just bragging at this point when they made this. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. I could not further stress though that it has a more premium feel to it versus its other Marvel Legends counterparts, so if I haven't said that yet, then there, I said it. Before I forget, I'd also like to point out that the unmasked Peter Parker head is also compatible with the ball hinge of this figure. So let me just show that to you guys. The neck though does look a tad too thick, but regardless, good call on Hasbro to make the heads compatible. As for the articulation, it has the standard points you would expect from any Hasbro Spider-Man figure, starting off with the head. And as you saw recently, it does come with a ball type hinge, and it can look that far down and that far up. It also has the standard ab crunch, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, up and down horizontal hinge for the hands, waist swivel. The legs can go that far up and not much far back. It can also do less than impressive split, which is not a good thing for a Spider-Man figure. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and of course ankle pivot. So as for the height, this figure stands at about just at about 6 inches tall. The side-by-side comparison here is PS4 Spidey next to the Toy Biz Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from 2004. Here he is next to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Andrew Garfield figure. And then finally here we have him next to the MCU Tom Holland Spidey. And to anyone who's asking, yes, the heads are quite interchangeable. So allow me to show you guys that. So let me just focus the camera on the head. And you know, it's easy to see that the MCU head is significantly smaller for this body. But for the life of me, I can no longer unsee Beetlejuice with this head on this body. I know it's been quite a while now since this was first released, but if I had to choose between this versus the more recently released SH Figuarts version, my money's still on this one. Just a lot of winning factors, man. And if you're a big fan of the game, then you definitely have to grab your hands on this. As for my overall verdict, I'm giving this figure an 8-9. It's supposed to be a 9, but I left out a decimal there because I don't want to give out 9s that easily. Cosmo, shut up. And Cosmo, could you get out first? My cat. My cat's probably in heat, so she's been doing that for quite a while now. I think it's been 2 days since she's been having an attitude. But yeah, where was I? I did mention that I'm giving this figure an 8-9 because I think 8-9's generous enough, you know. It's a great figure to have and definitely adds value to your collection, and I'll have that much to say. I don't know how much this is selling in Green Hills at this point, or if there's any more available, but if you're somewhere near that area and you want to buy, the price point is probably somewhere around 1,500 to 2,500 pesos, depending on the retailer really. But when it comes to Green Hills, I should know, availability, or its lack rather, will definitely affect the markup of the price. So if we convert 1,500 to 2,500 pesos, that's around $30 to $40. And the reason for that is because the figures undergo logistics here in the Philippines, so that definitely marks up the value of these supposed to be cheap chunks of plastic. Anyway, that is it for the review. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you guys are wondering why I still review these old pieces of plastic, while there are lots of other reviewers out there who have long preceded my reviews, well, that's because I'm not at the stage where I can financially keep up with reviewing new figures just as they could. And unless I reach that stage of achieving the right amount of views and subscribers to deserve monetization, then I'm only gonna be doing this for fun or until this quarantine lifts. To be honest, I want to make a career out of this because I love doing this more than anything in the world. I don't really fancy working as a corporate slave, and if there's any way I can get myself out of that rat race, then it's definitely on YouTube with you guys. Oh shoot. Alright, so let's not have Spidey stand on the rotating base then. Anyway, as I was saying, as for today, I highly appreciate where I stand. So thank you so much to my 102 subscribers and counting. You guys are what keep me going. But for those who haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so because I promise lots of quality content in the future that I'm sure you guys will absolutely love. As for what that is, I'm gonna keep quiet about it, but again, I'm sure you guys will love it. Again, this is Spider Kit Kat. Thank you and God bless.